down today due to issues with his background check. Federal agents raided and seized the phones of officials at the NYPD's School Safety Division headquarters in Queens yesterday. Sources say that raid appears to be connected to former Mayor Adams aide Tim Pearson, who recently resigned. A haunted house in Queens was shut down by city officials. Safety inspectors said they found shoddy electrical work, blocked exits, and the presence of combustible materials in a home that was converted into what the city describes as a commercial haunted house. And
in the air to center field, Judge has it lined up, and the Yankees are on their way to the LCS.
With that catch, the Yankees make it to the next round. They are just 4 wins away from making it to the World Series with their victory over the Royals in Game 4. They now face either Cleveland or Detroit in the next round. This is Mornings on One. On the New York City Morning Newscast 50 years ago, people greeted viewers and said, "Did you see the morning lights? The northern lights?"
Something like that. It almost worked out.
I was trying for something clever, and instead I got that.
How cool, though, that we got a chance to see this. There are so many times that we talk about there's this awesome thing happening tonight, but because of the light pollution in the tall buildings, you won't see it. Last night, we saw it.
No, supposedly it was 50 years ago that was the last time in any significant way New Yorkers saw the northern lights.
And this was significant. This wasn't like, oh, if you squint maybe in a certain direction, you'll get a little light.
Unusual, it was significant, and I still missed it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was 7:30 apparently was when most people noticed the phenomenon, and you knew there was the chance because you'd been tracking that solar activity.
Right, and it's just based on history in the past, you think, yeah, the light pollution, and it really panned out. So nice to see that some of you captured that, and those beautiful photos all over social media. Clear skies, our weather's quiet for your Friday, so enjoy. Look at this, nothing but blue. Clear skies, 48 degrees.
Another federal investigation. New York One has learned that the feds raided the NYPD School Safety Division headquarters in Queens yesterday. These raids are the latest to target either Mayor Adams' administration or people associated with the mayor. According to sources, this raid appears to be linked to Tim Pearson. Pearson's the former aide to the mayor who resigned recently. Agents seized papers and records tied to a panic button app contract that had allegedly been pushed forward by Pearson. The former head of the school safety unit also had his phone seized. These raids were carried out by investigators tied to the Southern District of New York and the city's Department of Investigation. And the NYPD appears to be on track to have its 4th police commissioner in less than 2 years. Tom Donilon was introduced as interim police commissioner only 4 weeks ago. And now, according to reports, he may be stepping down as early as today due to issues with his background check. Donilon was appointed after Edward Cavan resigned suddenly amid a different federal corruption probe. Just days into the new role, Donilon had material seized from his home by federal agents. Jillian Jorgensen at City Hall for us this morning. Jillian, Donilon's not even out the door yet, but there is, of course, a guessing game about who might take over, and Sanitation Commissioner Jessica Tisch is emerging as a leading contender there. Good morning again.
Good morning, Pat. That's right. And, I think it was just a month ago that we were talking about Tom Donilon's appointment. And for a lot of people, it was seen as a move that could bring a little bit of stability to the department at a time when it's really been roiled by investigations, many members of the NYPD being connected to these investigations that went all the way to the top with former Commissioner Cavan. Now, though, we're seeing it hasn't really worked out that way, with Donilon having his own material seized by federal agents, as you mentioned, now with reports saying that he could be on his way out. Now, he came to the department after a long career in federal law enforcement, but shortly after he took on the police commissioner role, his home was visited by federal law enforcement officers who seized the documents that he said he'd had for 20 years and which were not related to his work at the police department. But the mayor appeared with Donilon just yesterday amid all of these reports about his imminent departure, potentially coming soon. And the mayor returned to his often repeated line when asked if Donlin was on the way out.
I must have said this 1,000 times, so I'll do it 1,001. When we announce personnel movement, we always let you know. And so the police commissioner standing right next to us right now, doing his job. We cannot thank him enough for coming in and moving to stabilize. And anytime there's personnel changes made, we'll announce it and let you know.
But that hasn't stopped the speculation about who might replace the police commissioner if he does leave, with reports saying that Sanitation Commissioner Jesse Tisch is at the top of the mayor's short list. Tisch has spearheaded the city's war on rats as sanitation commissioner. She's run the effort to containerize garbage, but she also has experience at the police department. She was the deputy commissioner for information technology at the NYPD, where she oversaw the rollout of new cell phones for police officers. That was at times controversial, that had its critics, but she's well regarded by many in government. And like Maria Torres Springer, who was just elevated to first deputy mayor, she could be seen as a stabilizing influence at the administration at a time when many others are leaving. Tisch has been a steady presence.
I have worked in city government for 17 years, and I am so proud of the work that I am doing under Mayor Adams.
And so as you can hear there, she's been supporting Mayor Adams when she's speaking to the press. This is somebody who, though is very popular with many other people in government, could be a bit of a stabilizing force at a time when we're seeing so many departures, and it feels like a new investigation surfacing every day, Pat.
It does indeed. More news about that, as we've been saying today. Jillian, thank you. 8:07 to the presidential campaigns. They were busy in battleground states yesterday. Vice President Kamala Harris was in Las Vegas for a Univision town hall where she spoke on a range of topics, including securing the border, healthcare access, and hurricane response. She also held a rally in Arizona where she called her opponent Donald Trump's decision to opt out of any more debates a weak move. Former Presidents Barack Obama and Bill Clinton had
wasted time with a fucking worthless bitch.
They are set to crisscross.
I feel the same way about family
court. Battleground states in the final 27 days before the election. The focus for Donald Trump yesterday was on the auto industry as he visited Michigan to address the Detroit Economic Club. He proposed a new set of tax incentives and suggested that car loans should be made tax deductible in the same way that mortgage loans are tax deductible. As we get closer to early voting, we invite you to check out the Spectrum News app for our voting guide, where you'll find ballot and candidate details. A day after the Mets' big win, the Yankees are waking up as division champions.
In the air to center field. Judge has it lined up, and the Yankees are on their way to the LCS.
That was the catch from Aaron Judge that wrapped up the game. The Bombers beat the Royals in Game 4. They take the series 3-1 after having not made it to the postseason last year. The Yankees didn't take long to launch into a big champagne celebration in the locker room in Kansas City. They will face either Cleveland or Detroit in the next round. Garrett Cole was the star in last night's game for the Yankees, pitching 7 innings, allowing just 1 run.
I mean, we're obviously confident, right? Like, you know, we're focused. We're trying to improve the brand of baseball that we're playing as we continue to get deeper in October. You know, I mean, even when you're banged up, you know, you feel the same way. I mean, that's your job. You know, you gotta just get after the ball regardless of what you have. Certainly, you know, with guys healthy, you know, logically you're in a better situation. But it's baseball, so you know, it's baseball. I mean, anything can happen.
Goggles ready for champagne spray at a moment's notice. Guardians and Tigers play to Game 5. That game is on Saturday, so that's when the Yankees will learn who will come to the Bronx for Game 1 of the championship series on Monday. The Mets also waiting to learn their opponent. They will face the winner of tonight's Game 5 between Los Angeles and San Diego. So the NLCS with one of those two teams will start in California, with the Mets on the road on Sunday. An animal shelter in Manhattan looking to help with the recovery efforts after Hurricane Milton. More than 24 animals were brought to the Best Friends Animal Society in Soho. And now some 20 cats are up for adoption. Several of the dogs rescued from Florida will be brought to facilities in Massachusetts. The cats were left displaced from Georgia, now up for adoption in the city. Volunteers at the shelter say it's important to help and get these animals here.
The hurricane relief efforts that we're doing are really to get pets out of affected areas because a lot of the shelters experienced no electricity, all of their supplies ran out or were ruined. And so what we need to do is clear space, transport them up, work with our rescue partners on the ground to get the shelters up and running again and get these pets into shelters where they can be adopted.
We've also seen utility workers stepping in to help out. There's a Con Ed crew. Con Ed and the Orange and Rockland utilities sending some relief workers south to help in Florida, including 63 workers, engineers, and supervisors who will try to restore power.
It's always nice to see that.
And they're good about sending crews north too when we have big windstorm that knocks down the power lines. So they're helpful to each other.
Yes, need all the help you can get. Let's get on with your morning commute right now, where we are following delays on the Q train, a door problem over at West 8th Street, over by the New York Aquarium. That is causing delays there for Q train riders. B&D train delays. We have some police activity, a mechanical problem over at Bedford Park Boulevard. That at times they are calling severe delays on the southbound side. So keep that in mind on the B train, especially this morning, but it is also affecting the D line as well. No major problems on the roads. It's been a pretty easy morning commute. We are looking at a look on the Belt Parkway at JFK Airport where, regular busy stuff here. Street cleaning rules are in effect for today, but they'll be suspended tomorrow for Yom Kippur. And then don't forget Monday, Columbus Day, when the kids are also off school.
Right. A guy, when I was sitting having my bowl of cereal this morning, I realized the house was cooler than it's been in a while. had to flip on the heater for a minute.
Yeah, Pat, I did the same thing before I left this morning. I put on the heat. I hope my wife doesn't wake up too hot, but I was I was trying to be thoughtful and considerate. Anyway, let's get to your forecast. You got temperatures in the upper 40s and 50s. You got 52 Bay Ridge. Winds are out of the northwest, a bit breezy now, but you'll see the winds increase throughout the day. We could see winds turn a little gusty this afternoon, and then we'll keep some occasional gusts throughout the weekend, too. So once the gusts start later on, we'll keep that. Upper 60s and 70s tonight. Friday night plans, 56 clear skies, but by 9 o'clock or so, if you're stepping out for a happy hour, you'll see temperatures there in the mid-60s. Coming up, we'll dive into your 7-day forecast.
When we come back, our business headlines. Amazon had that Prime October deal event this week, and they say they sold a lot of stuff, more than any of its previous fall shopping events.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Raymore and Flanagan Furniture and Mattresses. Thousands of items in stock and ready to deliver.
This long weekend only, save up to 35% on new sale items during Raymore and Flanagan's Super Weekend Sale. Enjoy limited time discounts with up to $1,400 off sectionals, over $1,200 off bedroom sets, and $850 off dining sets. Transform your home in no time with delivery in 3 days or less. You can also save big on top mattress brands like Beautyrest, Sealy, Stearns & Foster, and more. Or take advantage of 72-month no-interest financing. Don't wait. Super Weekend Savings end Monday.
That 808, can you feel that BASS?
Love the way you move with intelligent around view monitor on the all-new reimagined Nissan Kicks.
Now get a low $239 per month lease for 36 months on the all-new Nissan Kicks.
Dear Triathlon, let's splash through rushing rivers, take on iconic trails, and race straight to the top. What's the point of winning if you can't kick back and enjoy the view? Yours, Toyota SUVs.
Lease a new RAV4, the best-selling small SUV in America with all-wheel drive for just $319 a month. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota.
Let's go places.
The fall holiday weekend is just around the corner, and it's the perfect time to dare to compare. You've seen the action. America loves it so much that Bob's is opening 2 new stores on October 11th. Dare to compare at a Bob's near you.
Many wonders await you at Water for Elephants, Broadway's most dazzling new musical. It's stunning and gorgeous, huge and heart-filling. The best new musical on Broadway. Water for Elephants must end December 8th. Get tickets today.
New York One baseball playoff coverage is sponsored by Empire City Casino.
To a baby boy on Monday morning. Hello, Kai Clark.
Hello, Kai Clark. He is so sweet. Nia says after spending a few days in the NICU, baby Kai is now happy at home. And his timing was impeccable. She was saying just 36 hours after we held a baby shower in the newsroom, she went into labor. He wanted his one last party.
There we go. Let's check our business headlines on this Friday morning. Delta Airlines still managed to post a profit in the third quarter, despite the $500 million that it lost when its computers melted down and the CrowdStrike mass. The airline says it does expect a strong holiday quarter to wrap up the year, though it says travel may slow slightly around the time of the U.S. election. Amazon's Prime Big Deal Days set new sales records, with more items sold than at any previous October Amazon event. Amazon does not release specific sales numbers from these events, but the company was boasting that its Prime members saved more than $1 billion worldwide. And Netflix has renewed Nobody Wants This for a second season, just 2 weeks after its debut.
You're the rabbit?
The new showrunners for the series, Jenny Connor and Bruce Eric Kaplan, are known for their work on Girls. They have already started working on the next season. The Liberty last night fell to the Minnesota Lynx. It was a thrilling Game 1 in the WNBA Finals. Went to overtime in Brooklyn. Minnesota took the lead by scoring a late 3 plus the foul with just 5 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Breanna Stewart couldn't make the game-winning free throw. They went to overtime. It was back and forth in overtime until Nafisa Collier made the second basket for Minnesota. The Lynx overcame an 18-point deficit. If you look back at the history of the WNBA Finals, that is the biggest comeback ever in a finals game. Last night marked the first postseason loss in Brooklyn for the Liberty, and some of the fans were disappointed.
Very sad, very sad, but they pushed hard. They just kept on like foul after foul, but then they kept on pushing, and it was just like, it was disappointing at the end, but they pushed. They did their thing though.
How are we feeling tonight?
Overwhelmed, we're so sad. It's amazing, it was such a good game. We're gonna win the next one, so it's all good.
It's a best-of-5 series. Minnesota leads 1-0 after that win in Game 1. So they go back to Barclays Center for Game 2 Sunday afternoon. To the ice, the Islanders lose a heartbreaker in their home opener. Utah tied the game with just under 2 minutes left and then won in overtime. The Isles are headed off on a 3-game road trip starting Saturday night in Dallas. Utah headed to the Garden. They will be the opponent for the Rangers home opener on Saturday night. That's a 7 o'clock start. When we come back, how long has that construction scaffolding been up at the Waldorf Astoria? How long has the iconic hotel been closed? It's been about 8 years, and it's delayed again. New York Post writer Steve Cuso has been writing about that this week. We'll talk with him after the break.
Plaza.Cars makes it possible for Danielle to select a new car and complete the whole process in one place. The only time Danielle has to lift more than a finger is when we deliver her new car to her front door. Plaza.Cars, a new kind of delivery.
Small business owners know 3 is better than 1. And with the Optimum Business Triple Play, you get 3 services you can customize to fit your business needs, starting at $100 a month. Or ask about our 5-year price guarantee.
Facts are facts. Optimum Mobile has more coverage than AT&T and Verizon for up to half the price. Switch to Optimum Mobile and get the Samsung Galaxy S24 on us. That's a value of over $700. Bring your phone or trade it in for our best offer and keep your current number. Switch today to get more savings and more coverage on America's largest 5G network. Visit your local Optimum store. To find your nearest store, go to optimum.com/stores. Optimum, where local is big time.
With Optimum Mobile, buy one, get one. Get 2 lines of unlimited mobile for the price of 1. That's 2 unlimited mobile lines for $45 a month. Call 877-6-OPTIMUM or visit optimum.com/mobile. Get 2 lines of unlimited data, talk, and text to connect on America's largest 5G network. With more coverage than Verizon and AT&T combined. All for just $45 a month. Hurry, get 2 lines of unlimited mobile for the price of 1. Call 877-6-OPTIMUM or visit optimum.com/mobile. With Optimum Mobile, buy one, get one. Get 2 lines of unlimited mobile for the price of 1. That's 2 unlimited mobile lines for $45 a month. Call 877-6-OPTIMUM or visit optimum.com/mobile. Get 2 lines of unlimited data, talk, and text to connect on America's largest 5G network. With more coverage than Verizon and AT&T combined. All for just $45 a month. Hurry, get 2 lines of unlimited mobile for the price of 1. Call 877-6-OPTIMUM or visit optimum.com/mobile.
Moving forward starts with getting answers about where we are. What New Yorkers want to know, Inside City Hall is here to find out. And we do it every weeknight at 7 and 11 here on New York One, exclusively on Spectrum.
What is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another RC video. Believe it or not, I actually got both of these backslashes from the same guy. You guys been following me?
You saw the beach and the amusements and everything in the foreground, and then that purple and green in the sky.
It's so much more stark when there's an identifiable landmark in the shot.
Yeah, I know we're looking for more, but it was definitely at its peak last night from the forecast.
Right, yeah, very unlikely to see that again as we get into.
It's a great sight.
Oh yeah, it was a great sight, for sure. And unlikely for that to happen again, but you know, after last night, you never know. So we have clear skies today, and we'll keep clear skies really going through tonight. 72, it's only a little breezy, 56 tonight, clear skies in the forecast, and then temperatures as you get to tomorrow, 74. So we'll warm up tomorrow. This is a warm up for now for this time of the year, and then we'll start cooling right back down. We just got quiet conditions here as we do a little bit of traveling. A little disturbance to the north will increase the winds this weekend. You have some showers here over the Dakotas, Wyoming, and portions of Minnesota. That's what I'm tracking for Sunday. Now, Sunday afternoon, we have some showers here in the forecast, which could linger into early Monday. Then cooling for Tuesday and Wednesday.
New York Post writer Steve Kuz has had a lot on his mind lately in a recent article about the Waldorf Astoria. He looks at the latest delays in the reopening of the iconic hotel, highlighting
Y'all know the Waldorf Astoria ain't never opening.
Transformation into high-end condos and the charm that may be lost by the time it reopens. But
it's a Chinese espionage center.
Food trends. This week he explored the arrival of the famed Salt and Straw ice cream from Portland, which has been stirring up reactions from praise for some of the classic flavors to skepticism over some of the concoctions like their pastrami on rye ice cream. Steve's with us in studio. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, Pat.
Let's first talk about the Waldorf Astoria. It's been closed for so long that some people don't even remember what the lobby of the Waldorf looked like.
Going on 8 years in Canada.
China took it.
And it's a sad situation. And you've got to feel sorry for Hilton because they managed the property and they sold it. They used to own it. And they sold it in 2014 to a Chinese insurance company.
The idea was going to be that the Chinese company owned the building, but then Hilton was going to continue to operate the hotel.
Yeah. And so they were supposed to, made sense on paper. The deal closed in 2015. It was almost $2 billion. And the Waldorf needed work. Anybody who stayed there in the last 20 years, most people would rather have stayed at the New York Hilton than at the Waldorf. But it's still a great landmark property with great public spaces. And it's a skyline building. And what was supposed to be a 3-year restoration and partial condoization is now going on 8 years. And part of the problem was that an insurance company, Ambank it was called, is not a real estate company and probably didn't know what they were getting into. It was made worse 3 years later. The Chinese government dissolved that company, which that Chinese government does, over corruption. And I think they imprisoned the CEO. And they set up a new insurance company to own the Waldorf called Dajia, and who probably didn't know what they were doing either.
Right, so it's just dragged on and on.
No, and they picked up steam lately. You can see the visible signs of progress. But by the time it opens, it's a question whether or not how many people are going to remember the Waldorf Astoria, the most iconic hotel.
Well, and it starts to weigh on the rest of the neighborhood and the street and the
Hold on,
area
hold on,
also.
hold on, hold on, hold
It's
on.
not an open thing.
But the irony is, the sad irony is that Hilton, trading off the name Waldorf Astoria, starting in 06, 07, created a whole brand of luxury hotels called the Waldorf Astoria.
Even though the real Waldorf Astoria is shut down.
There's no real Waldorf Astoria. So they privately they're seething. They won't acknowledge.
Yeah.
They lying to y'all.
But there you go.
Okay.
So
Citizens.
Maybe spring.
I got to shift gears at the time we have left to your
Chinese government took over
different
the
story,
Waldorf
which is
Astoria
the pictures of
renovations.
you out giving this
And they're
ice
afraid
cream
there's
a try
microphones in every
at
room.
Salt and Straw. This is a company that comes to New York with a pedigree. What did you think of pastrami ice cream?
If I wanted pastrami on rye and mustard, then I'd go to a Second Avenue Deli or Katz's and buy pastrami on rye. Savory elements don't translate into ice cream, in my view. They never do. And it's just, they have very good vanilla, chocolate, they have a wonderful caramel, ribbons. These are the flavors that most people want.
But all these businesses, they have to try these like gimmicky things, right? To get people's attention.
In order to be on the map, in order to be on Instagram, in order to be on TikTok, you've got to have something that departs from, what people expect. But, with ice cream, it's a lot like opera, okay? People want the normal repertoire. They want Tosca, they want Carmen. They don't want crazy, quirky things that some genius comes up with. They'll pretend to like them, but they don't. Same with the ice cream. So people enjoy vanilla, etc. Not another one they have called Creepy Crawlies, which is a Halloween season themed ice cream, which is kind of disgusting. I mean, it's a green matcha ice cream base, which is okay, but there are these things in it, and you don't know what they are. They feel like they're moving on your tongue. Now, they're not. There are chocolate-covered crickets and mealyworms, which those are an edible thing, and I've had chocolate-covered
I think you're trying to
crickets.
talk me out of it, but you're actually talking me into it right now.
Although you know that they're long since, dead, it feels like they're crawling around on your tongue. It was not good.
Steve, thanks for coming in this morning.
Thank you very much.
We'll take a short break on Mornings at 1. The
They
political
call
buzz
something
is up next.
disgusting on the
We'll
camera.
talk about
You
recent
ain't supposed to be
reports
so
that
real
are
about no
Tom
review.
Donlan and whether he steps
You gonna
down.
ruin that woman's business. She gonna come sue the shit out your punk ass.
This portion of the news is brought to you by St. Pete, Clearwater, Florida. Let's shine. Plan your escape at visitspc.com.
Most women 40 and older should get a mammogram at least every 2 years.
Been putting this off way too long.
Routine mammograms can find breast cancer early.
I need to stop putting myself last.
When it's easier to treat.
You heard me. You ready? Yes, I am.
Finding breast cancer early can save lives. Ask your healthcare provider about a screening schedule that's right for you.
Juliana Margulies and Peter Gallagher star in Left on 10th on Broadway, a play about second chances in life and love, written by Delia Ephron and directed by Susan Stroman. Now in performances, love eclipses everything.
The fall holiday weekend is just around the corner, and it's the perfect time to dare to compare. You've seen the action. America loves it so much that Bob's is opening 2 new stores on October 11th. Dare to compare at a Bob's near you.
If you feel like this economy is not working the same for everyone, you're not wrong. I'm Kirsten Gillibrand, and it's time that changed. That's why we passed new laws lowering prescription drug prices and getting housing costs down. I'm leading the fight for equal pay, a higher minimum wage, and paid family leave. New Yorkers don't want to just get by. They want to get ahead. I approve this message because for me, it's about people, not politics.
RV with impressive sporty styling inside and out. From the brand named 2024 Best Value Brand by Kelly Blue Book's KBB.com. Honda, the power of dreams.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Stanley Steamer. From carpets, upholstery, air ducts, and more, it's not clean until it's Stanley Steamer clean.
Garrett Cole allowed just one run as the Yankees beat the Royals. They move on to the American League Championship Series. Federal investigators carry out another search warrant with ties to City Hall. This time, the NYPD's school safety unit was raided. Sources tell New York One it's related to an investigation surrounding the mayor's former aide, Tim Pearson. A trial date of May 5th has been set for Sean Diddy Combs in his sex trafficking case. He was in court yesterday. The judge set deadlines for both sides to submit arguments to establish boundaries in the case. And forget about ghosts or killer clowns. The latest scare was at a haunted house in Queens where the city says there were safety violations. Authorities shutting down an attraction in Hollis last night. Inspectors say they found hazards and that the house had been illegally converted into a commercial haunted house operation.
This is a neighborhood favorite. One of our producers, Janelle, has been telling me about it as we've been talking about this for the last day or so, this haunted house, the questions around it. It's one of those, like, everyone knows it in the neighborhood places.
Yeah, the city's position is that if you are in a residentially zoned neighborhood, you can't just decide that your house is an amusement park. Right. Like you.
Well, you can. You just can't charge people to come and participate.
I suppose there's, but the safety guidelines for a commercial enterprise were not followed.
By the way, in the video that we were shooting of the haunted house, you could see.
This was around Northern Lights time.
Look at that.
Huh.
The 2 stories. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
That's perfect. And you want to know, there's a house in my neighborhood that's all done up too. I mean, so if you have any plans, any Halloween, you want to throw up some decorations this weekend, you're really going to have some drive time for that too, especially for today, or if you're still doing some Halloween shopping. 74 Saturday, so that's a nice little warm up. Cooling down Sunday with a slight chance of a shower, but not an all-day washout. And I'll have more on your 7-day forecast coming up on the ones.
As a Battalion, Mayor Adams is denying multiple reports that his interim police commissioner, Tom Donlan, will soon be stepping down after less than a month on the job. The mayor and Donlan did appear together at a news conference about subway safety yesterday. It was only 4 weeks ago that Donlan was sworn in as interim police commissioner, replacing Edward Caban after his sudden resignation. Just a week after the administration, federal authorities executed a search warrant and they seized some material from his home, so that cloud has been over him ever since. Dan Rivley is with us this morning for the political buzz. Dan, the mayor has a familiar answer here. Even if there are rumors that yet another person's on the way.
Sound like a bottom-feeding black bitch.
Until I make announcements.
Yeah, and that's all fine and good. I mean, look, the police commissioner still has that interim in his titles. Typically, that could be a long time, it could be a short time. Looks like it's going to be a short time, and I think that's probably good for the city because Mayor Adams needs to show a little bit of stability in his administration, getting a permanent police chief in there.
Well, and we did, with Edward Caban, he was interim police commissioner for a little while, and then he was permanent police commissioner, so there were some assumptions that maybe Tom Donlan would be the one that brought that stability, and he would get the full police commissioner title.
Until federal agents went to his home. He gets this huge position, police chief. He has a sterling resume of service in the FBI. He was New York's Homeland Security Director. Everyone couldn't say enough good things about him. He gets this position, and then federal agents raid his home because he had some papers apparently from his time 20 years ago, and that was, I think, a huge black eye on the police department. He comes in, and automatically, it's a bad headline. It's police commissioner's home raided by FBI. So I think Mayor Adams might want to be looking elsewhere because, like I said, Tom Donilon had this sense of stability and professionalism from his time at the FBI.
Yeah, I will say that the mayor's been getting a little impatient with reporters because it's similar questions day after day, but he has been answering them with similar answers day after day. But once again, yesterday, he said, I'm not going to step down.
Similar circumstances day after day.
Once, and I'm going to say it again. I did nothing wrong. I hate I'm going through this. I should not be going through this. I've served the city well. And anyone that did an analysis of what is being said about me is a lie.
Him and his analysis.
And I'm not going to surrender to lies. And I'm not going to surrender to anyone distorting or besmirching my name. That's not going to happen.
You know what's interesting, Pat, is you see he's taking kind of questions from reporters off to the side of an unrelated event. He's doing that much more. Typically, before the indictment, he would only take these what he calls and mayors have called off-topic questions one day a week, and he would always brush off the off-topic questions. Now he's doing them much more. I think this is Mayor Adams. Flood the zone, show he's not out, and he'll take a question, he'll give an answer.
He's trying to garner black support again.
From her in these 2 weeks since the indictment of the mayor, but she was speaking yesterday, and she was asked, is this affecting city services? Here's her answer.
Hell no.
I can honestly say and thankfully say that we really have not seen on the council side any negative imbalance because of what's going on with the administration, thankfully.
Pat,
ask any black woman about any condition anywhere in this city and you're going to get that.
Where a large number of them vociferously do not like the mayor. They oppose him on policy. They don't like his attitude. They're constantly criticizing him. She could have just, tried to knock him out rhetorically. And she says, well, the function of government is still going on, and that's important for her council members.
The function of government is going as haphazard as a black woman would like it to go.
I need potholes filled in my district and things like that. So she says, look, the city seems to be running, and even though you have this chaos of investigations and resignations, things are still happening for our members. Things are still happening for constituents.
And there are people willing to step into that and offer direct criticism of the mayor, like one of his potential rivals whenever we get around to the next election, if the mayor is still in it by then. Here's what Scott Stringer was saying yesterday.
This is just a rolling crime scene. And as someone who's been involved in government and politics for 30 years, I've never seen anything quite like this. And it's time to move for the sake of this city. We have now, the mayor is now simply hiring people to sort of cover up the other people who are leaving.
Darned if you do, darned if you don't. You got to clean house. Anyone who gets an FBI search warrant's got to go. But then they don't like the way they're being shown the exit. But yeah, look, that's what politics is for. Scott Stringer's not there to do Eric Adams any favors.
Been a busy week of these.
See what they trying to make normal across America? Always this fucking whore New York City.
It's a 3-day weekend for